Now moving on, let's speak about Biscoff, the cult favorite caramelized cookie that has fans around the globe raving about it. It has officially landed on Indian shelves like just a few weeks ago, starting at just rupees 10. Now Mondelez India has teamed up with Belgium's Lotus Bakeries to manufacture and market and distribute Biscoff locally for the first time, aiming to make it every day cookie from traditional trade to modern stores as well as online. Now, I spoke to Nitin Saini, who's a vice president of marketing at Mondelez India, who told me this is more than just a product rollout. It's a strategic play to expand in the fast-growing premium cookies segment. They are rolling out 5 pack sizes starting at just rupees 10, backed by wide retail reach and a big media push to build awareness across cities and towns. But the larger question is, can Biscoff disrupt India's biscuit shelf dominated for decades by big local players like Parle, Britannia and ITC? Let's find out. Mondelez India is going all out with the launch of Biscoff cookies in the India market. To tell us more, we are joined in by Mondelez India veteran Nitin Saini. Welcome.
Thank you, Shubhani. Glad to be here.
Nitin, Biscoff, in your 23-year-old journey at Mondelez, I have seen over the past couple of weeks, you're going all guns blazing on Biscoff. I think this is one of the highest voltage launches that I have seen from Mondelez, in the recent years. Tell us more, why Biscoff and why now, especially for India?
Absolutely. I think firstly, happy to hear that, you are seeing it already big in the market.
Yeah.
And, it's definitely a big moment for us. It's a big milestone for us. It's an outcome of our partnership with Lotus Bakeries. And we are very happy to bring the Biscoff experience into India. It's a much loved global flavor, and we are thrilled to bring it to India.
Yes, and I believe this is I think one of the few occasions where Lotus Bakeries has agreed to produce Biscoff out of Europe, and it will be manufactured in India. So tell us more about the details of this partnership and how will it pan out? How do you ensure that the taste of the cookie that you're making in the country remains true to the original Biscoff flavors?
I think the best way to describe the partnership, I will say it's a perfect partnership. In fact, somebody said it's a match made in heaven. So you got a great brand, great product, great taste experience with the sales and the marketing muscle we have in India with Mondelez India. So it's a great combination, and we are kind of absolutely thrilled, as I was saying, to bring it to India. And what we have made sure is that it is exactly the same Biscoff taste that is much loved globally.
Yeah, we are well acquainted with the cookie, and its variants in the Indian cafes, so to speak. I have eaten a Biscoff cheesecake, a Biscoff ice cream. What changes after you get, the Biscoff cookie via Mondelez to the country? How are you going ahead with some of the partnerships with these cafes to take it to a much wider consumer and audience?
That's a great question, and actually that's a big learning we have from the global Biscoff playbook, that Biscoff is a much loved cookie, but Biscoff flavor is also very, very well liked. So we are going to have a lot of partnerships with away from home channels, with QSR, on how we are able to bring Biscoff experience to people, not just in the form of a cookie, but also in the form of everything else that you said, an ice cream, a cafe experience, a shake. So we are going to be partnering with a lot of QSR and AFH chains in doing it.
Sure, and you're launching with a starting price of rupees 10. And then, as the SKUs grow in size, of course, the price goes up. So tell us more on, how did you decide on this price point of rupees 10? What was the thinking, the logic behind it?
So that's a learning that we have on what should the portfolio look like, what are the different price points that are important for different shopper needs. And one thing was very, very important is for us to make Biscoff more accessible to people, in which case an entry price point of 10 becomes really important. So therefore we are actually quite proud that we are able to provide the Biscoff experience to people at rupees 10. And premium doesn't mean it cannot be accessible. So we are kind of trying to hit that sweet spot between providing people a very premium sophisticated experience and making sure that they get it at the right price point, in which case the 10 rupee becomes quite important.
There is one installation right here, that's joining us during the conversation where you see a Biscoff dipped in coffee.
Yeah.
How do you like to eat your Biscoff?
I love it with coffee. I'm a coffee drinker. I love it with coffee. But I know a lot of people are loving it with tea as well. So
Sure.
it goes really, really well with a hot beverage, and people are having it without hot beverage as well. So it's quite ubiquitous in terms of its consumption occasion.
Yeah. Having said that, you also have an Oreo in a similar premium cookie space. So where does Biscoff sit in this entire biscuits portfolio? Of course, there is a Bonvita biscuit that you have, the chocolate flavor that brings in the goodness of Bonvita. Now you have Biscoff and you have a much premium Oreo cookie. So where does this sit?
Actually, Biscoff and Oreo, if you look at it, are very complementary. So Biscoff plays in the cookie segment, the sweet cookie segment, while Oreo plays in the cream segment. Both of them are trying to do the same thing, which is to premiumize these segments. So we feel it's very, very complementary. And we have seen great success with Oreo over the last 15 years. And I think we will have the same success with Biscoff as well.
At the price point of 10, I guess this is one of the most affordable SKUs for Biscoff globally, the 10 rupees pack that you are offering to the consumer currently. It brings in or takes Biscoff to a much wider audience, yes. But also, there is this thing where, it creates a mass appeal to an extent where, anyone can afford to buy. That loses the premium label or the sheen of premium, if you were to consider just from a price point perspective. So how do you reconcile that premium, label that you want to have Biscoff carry forward?
Yeah, sure. I think firstly what we have done with Biscoff is we have tried to have the best of both worlds. So it's the same globally loved product experience, but brought to India in a way that it meets the consumer and the shopper needs in India. And we know that there is a big cohort that wants to access products at an affordable price point, which is where the 10 rupee becomes quite important, to drive penetration, to drive that first taste experience. And I totally believe that, premium doesn't mean that it cannot be accessible. And we already have a good example on that in terms of Oreo. Oreo is is also a premium cream biscuit brand. And it does have, a 10 rupee SKU, which is, by the way, is the biggest SKU for Oreo. And what it does is it drives penetration. And once people like the taste experience, people then upgrade to bigger packs. So I absolutely don't see any, challenges there.
And how are you, modern trade understood, QSR understood? How are you placing it, in the smaller stores, in Kirana stores, in the stores next door?
So we again have a very strong plan to take it to traditional trade. We'll start with urban first and then go to rural over a period of time. And that is where having the right price pack becomes important. So we got a great pack in 10 rupees. We also have a 30 rupees. We have a strong proposition to take to the traditional trade retailer. And again, a very strong plan, including some of the very nice displays we have in traditional trade too. So something like this obviously will not go into a a Kirana store, but we have got really nice countertop displays that can go over there and look really good.
Sure. In India, there are certain products available, including Parle-G, including Britannia Tiger biscuits. They have similar taste profile, compared to Biscoff. In fact, in a blind test, it's very difficult to, probably point out whether this is Biscoff or, whether it's Parle-G or Tiger. So where, how do you want to position, in this India market where there are two other variants much cheaper as compared to Biscoff, which are already available?
I'll tell you, Shubhani, as we were bringing this to India, we obviously do a lot of consumer work.
Yeah.
And every time we will give this to the consumer, that person would say, wow, it's so unique. We haven't tasted something like this before.
Yeah.
It's so good. So I think we feel very good about, what we have over here in terms of the product, and we think it is very, very unique. and people will love it. I think people are already loving it, so we feel very confident.
Yeah, but you can't deny the taste similarity because both of the other competition products available at the fraction of a cost have like caramelized, taste to it, which even Biscoff offers. In fact, in many markets where neither of these products are available, people pass it off as, like we can go for Biscoff as an alternate.
I would say what we have over here is something very, very unique.
Yeah.
And that is what we are hearing from consumers too. So we are feeling really confident. In fact, the product is really the hero of the whole Biscoff story. Not very different from how it has played out in the rest of the world.
Yeah, and how important, before we sign off, Nitin, tell us how important Biscoff is in the long-term strategy when it comes to especially snacking and premiumization for Mondelez India going forward.
I think it is very important because it allows us to build a stronger position in biscuits, which is a very important priority for us from a, winning in snacking perspective. We have had a great last 15 years, with Oreo premiumizing the cream segment. And I think with Biscoff, we want to drive premiumization of the cookie segment and help build a stronger share in premium segment of the biscuits and in overall biscuits. So very much a part of our, where we want to go in India with our snacking play.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us today and thanks for sharing your insights on Biscoff and congratulations on the launch.
Thanks a lot, Shivani.
Well, I hope that you've enjoyed all the conversations that we have had on Brand Wars. With that, it's a wrap. We have more buzzing and interesting stuff lined up in the next few episodes of Brand Wars. Stay tuned, stay connected.